What's so cool about that is like, again, like I think success is all a matter of perspective and how you think about things, how you break things down. And I've worked with thousands of salespeople in my career,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in just thinking about the average person when they're going through a day where they've got a boot on their leg, they're walking with crutches, they're already mad, they're
Yeah.
already in a foul mood, they're
Right.
already like poor me, in the victim mode, and they can't think in that positive light of like how you said, I'm using this to my advantage. Like I'm getting more conversations. People are
Right.
kind of feeling sorry for me. I'm 80 degrees in a suit and in a boot on. And then the guy's dog bites you.
Right.
How many people pack it up and go home now?
Probably a decent number.
A
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. Or they continue but they have a glum look on their
Right.
face. Their day is ruined.
Yeah.
And they're stewing about it, and they don't want to be out there, and it's hot, and they're in a suit, and they're bandaged up, and like there's so many excuses
Yeah.
to not keep moving forward. But then you told me you had a killer day that day.
Yeah. I'll tell you another story. There was a time when I was door knocking all day long, and it was kind of towards the end of the day in the evening, and it was actually the very last house on the street on the corner. And it was one of those days where not a whole lot had been going great, and you want to call it quits early maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, I got to get to the end of this block, and then I'll be done. But I got to make it there. And so I come to the house on the corner, and I knock on the door, and it was actually kind of a funny story. I ended up ringing the he had one of those ring doorbells, those ring doorbells I'm talking
Yeah.
about, and he wasn't home. It turns out he was actually in Florida. I had no idea, but I talked to him through the doorbell, and I told him, I introduced myself, and he said, I've actually been looking for a financial advisor recently. Here's my phone number. Let's find some time to follow up. So I ended up calling him a couple weeks later, and he was back from Florida at that time. We scheduled an appointment to come back to his house, and I came over. Interesting part of that is I came over and met his wife, who said that I had left my card with a flyer on the door. She said that they were in Florida, and my card had blown away by the time they got home. And she asked her husband, "What's the name of this guy who's coming over?" He's like, "I don't know, I forgot." "Well, who's he work with?" "I don't know, some financial firm." She's like, "Who's this guy coming over to our house?" So anyway, I introduced myself and made a really good connection. Ended up bringing over a pretty sizable account, and I've been able to work with this family and help them a lot in the year or so since I met them there. But every time I'm out in the neighborhood since then, it reminds me not to call it quits before that last house,
Mm,
because you never know what's behind that door.
yeah.
And if I had done it, I never would have met this amazing family. I never would have brought over this account, and I never would have gotten all the referrals that they've sent me since. And so it's a good reminder to me.